Well, I'm doing part 2 on what has to be a favourite topic of mine, and that's on being revived. You and I having more of Jesus, more of the Holy Spirit, being on fire, passionate for God. So living for God, living the Christian life is a lot easier. I'm sure you want it. I know I want it. Let me just give you a vision of what God can do. Because I've heard about the Holy Spirit being poured out in different places. So this person heard about that, and they decided to have 2 weeks of prayer meetings asking God to send a Pentecost. Now, I reckon that's a pretty good idea. So during the 2 weeks of prayer, the Holy Spirit began to deal with church members. This often happens. Sin, compromise gets dealt with. Then on Sunday night, the blessing broke out. This is after 2 weeks of prayer. At the end of the service, before the pastor could give the salvation altar call, men and women rose from the crowded congregation and went to the front. 119 were saved. 38 were saved the next night, and the reaping went on until over 1,000 were born again. Many of them, listen to this, had never been in church. Many of them had been in prison, were drunkards, were gamblers. Some woman, quite drunk, would stagger into meetings and be soundly converted while standing in the building. It's just a picture of what God can do. Let me give you another example. As a night service, the Spirit of God so moved among the people that in different parts of the building, many were falling on their knees and crying out to God. Rough men were saved in numbers. That Pentecost Sunday was followed by many unsaved pouring in week by week, just drawn by the Holy Spirit. And many of them had long been pronounced as hopeless cases. At least 150 were saved and added to the church with a deep evidence of inward change of heart. I'm just giving you some examples of what God can do when He breathes on a church, when He brings a revival. People flood to the front. They're radically saved. They're transformed. They're in church. It's what you and I dream about. John Ben, who looks after our online services, said that many years ago, he was in a service when God turned up, when the Holy Spirit turned up. And a person from the Brethren Church happened to be in that meeting and testified saying, after 34 years of being in a rut as a Christian, in a few moments, the Holy Spirit had transformed his life. When the Holy Spirit turns up, man, you get changed. Is your walk with God at a standstill? Are you in a rut? Get ready. The Holy Spirit's about to come and transform you. I shared last week, why am I so passionate to see the church revived? Number one, so you can stand strong in faith to the very end. I want raise up a people, including me, so strong in the word and prayer and faith, they can stand in the midnight hour and can say, 2 Timothy 4 verse 7, I fought the good fight, I've finished the race, I've kept the faith. Secondly, I shared how only a revived church can fulfill the Great Commission. We go outside the 4 walls, reaching lost people. Thirdly, so we don't lose the next generation. Your children, your grandchildren. A lukewarm church will struggle to hold the next generation. And then fourth, so that you see Ephesians 3:20 fulfilled. Now to Him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all we ask or think, according to the power that works in us. As I wrap it up, how will we be revived? My first thought is this: disruption. If you want a better future, you must disturb the present. Boy, that's a big word. Disruption, because none of us want it. God has done some wonderful things over the years in your life and mine and our churches, but now calling us to a place of greater impact. He's going to and He will disturb our present so that we get revived, so the church gets revived. We see more breakthroughs, more healings, more miracles, more radical salvations, that we see revival in the nation. If you are being disrupted, do not fight it. Embrace it and let God do something amazing in your life, including reviving you even more.